Hello everybody, this is Chuck Wiger, State Senator for the Maplewood area, and today I'm very pleased to have with me the Mayor of Maplewood, Nora Slawik. Welcome.
Great to be here, Chuck.
Okay. Well, Nora, we've worked together for over 20 years, maybe even close to 30 years on so many different things and serving the area. You were our state representative for this region. You have served on local commissions as well, and now as the mayor. How about just tell us what motivates you to be so active in serving the public?
Well, a part of it is being able to give back and really to help people solve problems. At the mayor level, we're really involved with the residents in terms of code enforcement and all kinds of issues that come up in the city. And to me, it's motivating to help people, just like you do at the legislature, right? Yeah. They have more complex problems, maybe insurance and things. But right now, if we have a car parked overnight, it's not supposed to be there. So it's that getting people so their daily lives work well and they don't have to worry about what's happening at the city, and we can help them.
So trying to resolve issues, problems, concerns, make things better.
Right, and to lead. Maplewood has an interesting past, and our theme now is stability. Working on economic development, public safety, a lot of infrastructure issues, and we got a great council, and just working hard for the people is important.
Okay. What would you say is the job description for being mayor?
For mayor, well, always they say it's the number one booster of your city, right?
Yes.
And so I'm the number one booster of Maplewood. We are so fortunate to have 3M and St. John's Hospital and Maplewood Mall and wonderful residents. But, we're shaped like a 7, and we're this super long city, and it's hard to get people to feel connected. So a mayor works to connect the residents and to help the residents.
And you've had the opportunity to live in a couple parts of the district as well.
I have.
I would say that's an advantage. So you're by Lake Phelan,
right?
And before you'd been more in the southern area. Do people view the city differently in terms of their identity?
They do, and people, depending on where they live, you live in Maplewood, people, it's very localized compared to more the legislature. Yeah. But in a good way. South Maplewood has the rolling hills and Fish Creek, and but it's this 1 mile strip, that's down there, and then up in the north. It's more urban, but there's more opportunities in shopping and retail and things to do, but more lakes too up in the northern part. So with the whole city, I have to tell you, is a great place to live. Proud to be here.
What would be, and I don't know if there's studies that show this, but you talk to a lot of people. What would be the number one reason people move to Maplewood?
To Maplewood, number one reason? You always think of that old realty saying, location, location, location. Is, being a first-tier suburb, we're close to St. Paul and the Twin Cities, everything you want to do, close to the airports, close to, honestly, Wisconsin, if people have cabins, need to get away there, or up north. We have 36, 494, 694 in Maplewood. We have all the amenities.
Great park system.
Yeah, terrific park system. So people love that we have everything from the regional parks to our local parks. Yes. So there's lots of reasons people move to Maplewood.
And a lot of schools as well, public and private.
Exactly. We have the whole, we have 622, which is North St. Paul, Maplewood, Oakdale. Part of Roseville School, 623 are in Maplewood. We have Mounts Park Academy and Hill Murray. So it's a tremendously diverse and busy city. And I think it's, because you live there too, we have a lot to offer. And
just a bit of trivia, even parts of the White Bear District go into Maplewood over by Best Buy, but to the south of 694. And that has to do with pre-freeway boundaries with farm boundaries and things, but the White Bear Lake still has school buses that are serving if they want, and a certain population. Those boundaries never change, but there's actually a point at Highway 61 and County Road D are going out a little bit further where you see almost 3 school districts coming together, so just like in Woodbury. And so sometimes you don't have all that identity for one particular district, but you have a lot of choices for schools in the area.
Absolutely. And remember, you're an old school board member, so you know
Yes.
a lot of things about the school board and the schools. And, we really do have excellent schools. We visited with Christina Sorio, the superintendent.
Yes.
We're doing these business retention visits, so the St. Paul Chamber, we went to visit with her, and, she will tell you that we can match on many statistics with other schools in terms of number that are on college classes, number in the graduating at certain grade level, grade average levels. I mean, all kinds of things. We're actually very competitive. Some people may not think that, but I tell you, come see us, and you'll see we have a good school system, not a great school system.
Yeah. But I had talked to Gina Abrahamson just recently, the principal at Carver, and the Minnesota Business Partnership 2 times now has awarded that school their top honor for beating the odds and increasing test scores with a lot of challenges. And so hats off to all the work that's being done there.
Absolutely. That's where my kids went to school, down in South Maplewood, and they are working hard and getting the recognition for it. So it's terrific.
Yeah. Now, there's so many different levels of government, and you're closest to the people. I so much appreciate that, and having previously served on a school board, I understand that role. And then you have the state, and you have the regional government, the federal. The regional does play a part in terms of your overall planning.
Yes.
And I know you put together an overall plan.
Yes.
And people will go and maybe have a question about zoning, or what is the use of this property, what can we do, or et cetera. But we have an overall regional plan, and you submit, actually, you have a vision, is it 2040?
Right,
that you're
exactly.
thinking out to, and just maybe briefly, what are some of the thoughts about the future as you lead, what you're looking for?
It's really exciting to work on that 2040 comprehensive plan. We have put it together. It's out for review right now, and some of the things are, especially as we are changing some of the zoning, to open up areas to more flexible zoning. Some of the sort of the Gladstone areas, right now we have a couple places that are with apartments in them. We have some market rate senior apartments coming on board. We actually have an offer on the old the Moose Lodge, so we'll be developing something there. But the vision is to have more what you see in suburbs, with the retail on the first floor and then the living in apartments on the second floor, or condos. So we're changing that zoning in that area. We looked down by the 3M area because we have the Gold Line coming through. We're going to wait till in there. We're going to wait till it gets closer.
For those that where is that at?
So that's really
what is the Gold Line?
The Gold Line is really the I-94 bus rapid transit system. It goes from St. Paul to Woodbury. Maplewood specifically has a stop at 3M.
Yes.
So we're excited about that.
That's important too in location, as you mentioned. If you're going to move somewhere, is accessibility to public transportation.
Yeah, you may not, millennials, about future planning is they don't want to own cars. And so if you could take the Gold Line, live there, be able to go to a Twins game in Minneapolis by just taking the Gold Line to the Union Depot, take the Green Line over, and so there's a lot of options around that. There's several chapters in the comprehensive plan. So parks, what are we going to do with our parks in the next several years? What are we going to do with all of the different parts of Maplewood? Housing is a big one. So we're trying to be on the forefront. We're really lucky to be on the forefront of sustainability. We're a Green Step City.
Oh, you've won awards, and just hats off to all the volunteers, staff.
Yeah, it's been tremendous. The Environmental Commission is really way ahead of its time, and we're leaders in the state. When I go to the meetings with all the cities at the League of Minnesota Cities, we're highly recognized for our sustainability and our park system. So moving in the direction of being highly green, as well as keeping open space is important. And housing, for we in the suburbs, and I sit on the regional council of mayors. I also sit on the Minnesota mayors. So I deal with mayors across the state as well as regionally. We all struggle with that affordable housing issue.
If viewers would like to learn more about the council's process for updating its plan, they could go to your website.
Yep. So just put in go to maplewoodmn.gov and then put in 2040 comprehensive plan or just even comprehensive plan. And then they can look at all those chapters. It's about 150-page document.
Okay.
We hired a consultant to come in. And I am not kidding about this, Chuck, is that people think it's one of the best ones in the state.
Right.
You know, we interviewed a lot of people. We got people involved in the grassroots level. We had neighborhood meetings, and we have a fantastic plan. I mean, it is just both visually as well as conceptually, you know, putting the vision out there for Maplewood.
Great. Another important reason for deciding to live in a community or sometimes to leave is safety, security. Tell us about all the work that goes into that important responsibility of government.
Well, you know, we have a new police chief, Scott Nadeau, who is from Columbia Heights, and I tell you, we really like him. As you know, our last police chief was Paul Schnell, and we really liked him, but Nadeau is more of
you've done well in recruiting. And
we have. He's more of a cop's cop, and so his approach is really to focus on that community policing and to really work at problem solving. You know, there's sometimes in the past there'll be a problem and we get halfway through it, but you know, the important thing, and you know this from your Senate work, you got to get all the way through the problem, work out the solutions, and help residents work through that. Biggest things that happen, public safety, you know, we have a lot of auto break-ins at night. So part of it's resident education, lock your cars. Do not leave a computer on your back seat, right? Because you will not see it again. And that's true in South Maplewood, North Maplewood. You know, I bet if you went to Woodbury or St. Paul, we have similar issues around that. We're working on training our cops. You know, it's a different environment these days since the Philando Castile shooting, right? And that could happen in any community, including Maplewood. So our cops are trained on how to handle that. We've had a community task force on use of force, and several of our residents were involved in that, and that went very well. And then we formed a police advisory commission, and we're moving in the direction of also meeting with our communities of color. So, you know, we have a high Karen
very
population.
Important with the changing makeup of our whole population.
We just need to do a better job. And when I say meeting with, it's understanding what everybody's needs are. We have a big Hmong population, big Karen, some Somali, Latino, and Chief Nadeau comes from a very urban environment. So he's helping us to better understand this part of our city and how to help us understand, because those, you know, every community has some problems, and so helping us to work on that. So I'm really encouraged. I think our city is safe. We continue to work at it like all cities do, and then we rely on our residents to be vigilant too. Lock your doors, lock your cars, that type of thing. But we have we did this is our community survey, and it's a national citizen survey, and people rank Maplewood as between good and excellent, the majority in terms of public safety. Our cops are around. They also are. We're working on being, you know, friendly. You know, the cops are at Cub. They're at community events, because that's the other thing.
And this will be on the website?
Yes, the results of the citizen survey. And so, you know, a long time coming. This is my 5 years as the mayor. This was the first time we've done that, and it's a very thorough survey. Tells us, you know, things we need to work on, and public safety isn't perfect. We know that, and we're working at it.
National Night Out, of course, you know, the police are out, other emergency responders, and they're available on the prevention efforts, other nights and days as well.
Absolutely.
Out,
if anybody would like to have a speaker, you know, a cop or a fire person to come, you know, a big part of our business in the public safety is the emergency medical services. We're working on a concept where we have sort of, if you will, frequent flyers, you know, people that call a lot. We have an older population in Maplewood overall, and so helping people, we have community paramedics now that will go in and do more checking. You know, blood pressure checks, if somebody's right out of the hospital, making sure, you know, they're okay. That's the most fragile time, is people are out of the hospital, they don't take their meds or something happens, and then they're back. And so we're trying to work on more continuity of care. So lots of exciting things overall.
Sure is. And on the economic development, it all kind of ties in terms of, you know, having the great schools. You want to have accessibility of transportation.
Absolutely.
But for economic development, you have a commission, you have,
Yeah.
you would go out and visit businesses
Exactly.
as well.
So we have the partnership with the Chamber, the Business Retention and Expansion Program.
Yes.
So we're working hard to talk to our companies and say, what can the city do better
Yes.
as a partner? And then we have, I brought this map. We have a special study going on for economic development. This is, like over here is Aldi's, and here's the mall, and then St. John's is over here.
We can see it, and we're going to show it this way here. Okay.
And so we're doing a special study of the North End.
Yes.
Primarily, one of the things that's driving this is you might have heard that Sears is closing.
Yes.
And so that leaves a big hole in the mall.
Yes.
But malls, this is happening nationally,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So kind of reinventing the mall. Well, maybe Century College could have some classes in there. Maybe we could put some apartments in there. Maybe
Yes.
a hotel could come in to Sears. But it's important because the healthcare part is growing, expanding.
Yes.
They built that huge building over on this side.
Yes.
There's even the new, Chick-fil-A, there's the new Aldi's and all of that.
Yes.
But then you have the mall struggling.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to figure out how to kind of lift all boats in that
Yes.
area with economic development,
Okay.
as well as do the Gladstone area, as well as do some very targeted housing projects, and good, everything from market rate
Yep.
housing. We only have about 3% of our land that's undeveloped. So when we talk economic development, it's usually about redevelopment.
Yes.
Right? And getting some of our older buildings repurposed and so
Okay.
forth.
Well, you have a lot of challenges ahead, and but I want to ask, what is the funnest part of being married?
Oh, the funnest part? It's great being out in the community. I would say the ribbon cuttings are really exciting because we have a new business and
Yeah.
we're coming to Maplewood and we're excited to be here. Being with residents at whether it's July 4th festival or Kid City, and meeting so many of our residents and.
I always like to, as a Maplewood resident, the special recognition you give to groups at the meetings. And I had just read about some of the emergency responders saving the lives.
Yeah, the life-saving ones are really
and just thanking these people for them. You've got a great staff.
We do, absolutely, and especially the life-saving awards. Melinda Coleman, as the city manager, does a good job. I'd say our entire management team does really well. We have a new finance person. If you have any question about city finances, boy, they are in good shape. We are taking down the debt of the city, and we are really headed towards a good place financially, really solid, and so it's a good place to be. Yeah.
And you personally, you mentioned the kids, they went to Carver, and they are well beyond that now. And tell us where they're at in life.
Well, Sean, who's my oldest, is a teacher. And so he is busy doing that, the special ed kids at the middle school level.
Great.
And my daughter's at Mankato. So going to be...
The time flies.
It does. You remember when, you remember when your kids
yes.
were little too and how fast that goes. And now my husband and I are living, of course, at my house in Maplewood and really just enjoying our time together and our time there. So, but empty nesters, right?
Okay.
So,
and do you have time for hobbies? In addition to all the various functions of mayor and mom?
Well, a little bit. One of the things I really love is walking around Lake Phelan because it is so beautiful, and we have herons and egrets and all kinds of things. They practice the kayaking in the morning on Lake Phelan.
Yes.
They practice actually for one of the Olympic
Good.
hopefuls practices there. Get out and have a little fun. We enjoy music and going to different music festivals, those types of things. So everybody's got to have some fun, right? It's that balance.
Right. Yeah. And if any of the viewers would like to call you, you do take phone calls?
Oh, absolutely. So
it's a part of the job, and if you'd like to share your phone number?
Sure. So something people are surprised is it is my home phone number. I just changed my message, but we don't have offices. We're part-time.
Yes.
So my home phone number is 651-738-7099, and you can always call and leave a message. I'm not necessarily at home right there to answer the phone, but it's the best way for me to reach me. Yep. Email Nora.Slawik, Slawik, at maplewoodmin.gov. So I'd love to hear from people. People are really getting engaged these days, and I'm out talking to a lot of the neighborhoods right now, and it's really great. I 99.5 people are happy. And of course, point 5, something's happening in their neighborhood, and you know what? That we want to know that.
All we can do is our best.
Right,
And
absolutely.
give it your best effort and let them know where you're coming from. So.
Exactly.
Well, Mayor Slawik, thank you so much for your service. And viewers, I strongly encourage you to get in touch with Nora if you have a question, or some advice you want to share with her. Sure. I know she will do her very best to follow up and respond. Thank you.
Thank you.